looked back, and I saw it was Super Dave. And Super Dave was one of the Billsmen from Goldsboro, North Carolina at the time. He said, "Come here, let me holler at you, bro." And I scooted on into the apartment complex. And I don't know how that fella found my apartment, but we was on like the 10th floor. Next thing I knew, he was knocking at the door. I'm like, how in the world, and that ain't what I said back then, did he find me? Because somebody let him in the building. And then he came to the apartment. I told him I ain't going back. No, I'm not going back. Do what you do, bro. I'm not going back. And he really wasn't trying to scrap with me or put me under the gun or tase me, because he had all that with him. I just talked to him. I'm like, I don't want to go back. I'm not going back. And my mother was there and she was talking to him, trying to beg me to go. I'm like, Dave, I'm not going. And we grew up with Super Dave. He lived in the same neighborhood we lived in when we moved to Goldsboro. Well, the second move we had. The first move we moved into Lincoln Homes, and the second move we moved into Washington, Little Washington. Jumping from one project to the next. But he stayed in that neighborhood. And finally we came to the rationale that we will make out some kind of payment arrangement for him or something. But he knew he wasn't getting paid. He knew he wasn't getting paid, and that was just a trip for him to go and catch some go-go. I think he said he'd go out and catch some go-go, a band that night. That's real big in DC. But no, I wasn't having it back then. I was like, nope, I'm not going. That's the final answer. You got to hog tie me to get me up out of here, bruh. And you by yourself too? Oh no. See, I still had the residue on me. I ain't gonna lie, it wasn't no residue. I was still full-fledged Big Bob back then, but I was changing. So that was another push towards my making up my mind. Okay, I'm gonna just have to go back. I can't avoid this. So it was I think it was right after Christmas time that I called my parole officer and told her I want to turn myself in. I'm tired of running. She said, "Okay, Miss Holloway, hold on one second." And in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, she tracking the phone call and trying to figure out where I'm at so she can send the police at me. I mean, when you on the run like that and you in that lifestyle, you think crazy like that. Like my little drug charge and my little parole was such a big thing in their eyes. And like my uncle told me, he said, all they want is the money. He was like, all they want is the money, baby. And she finally came back, and I was about to hang up. She took like 15, 20 minutes. I was on hold. She come back, "Mr. Holloway, you still there?" I said, "Yes, ma'am, I'm here." She said, "Are you sitting down, Mr. Holloway?" I said, "Yes, ma'am, I am." I think I was standing up. I said, "I can be. I sit down." She said, "Well, I just want to tell you congratulations. We've decided to drop all charges on you because you've had, we haven't heard anything from you. You haven't gotten any more charges. And you say you're in Washington, D.C., so it seems like you're trying to get yourself together." And that's what I told her. I said I wanted to get myself together because I moved out of North Carolina and was trying to get myself together. And I just wanted to put this behind me. She said, "Well, congratulations." I said, "Well, thank you, ma'am." And family, I ain't gonna lie, I was crying. cried like a baby. And I said, well, hold on, man. I said, does this mean that I don't know y'all any back pay, any fees? You know, because you had to pay your parole officer back then. She said, no, sir, you're completely free of North Carolina. She said, just don't come back. She said, Mr. Holloway, let me give you a bit of advice. Don't come back to North Carolina. And then she changed it and said, selling drugs anyway. I said, I'm not. Thank you. And that was it. And see, family, that was the Most High's power at work in me at that time to facilitate change in my life. And he did it. I went on after that, got me a good job working for another moving company. So I can always go and hunt some furniture, family, because that's just who I was. I had the size, I had the strength, and had the know-how. But it always was my fallback. I don't know why folks think that is fine. That's a hot mess to me. Nobody want to see that. But praise the Most High. We're going to continue on. And let me say this before we do go on. The Most High wants to do the same for you. And say, I hadn't planned on telling that testimony, but that's just one of many of the times that he got me out of horrible straits. And I think the most important thing to realize is the ones I put myself in. So you're no different than I am. You've gotten yourself into some mess. You're living a lifestyle that you don't want to be living. But it's okay. The Most High will pull you up out of that. And he's not expecting you to change overnight just like I didn't. That's why he sent Super Dave when they came to pick me up. But that was just another nudge in the right direction. And see, like I was saying, Super Dave was from our neighborhood, so we was like people. We were people. That's why he bailed me out. But family. The Most High wants to do the same for you. He wants to give you some of this good loving, some of his salvation, and save you out of that particular situation you're in. But you know what it's going to take? Your yes. And that's all. Your wholehearted yes. And then after that, your obedience. See, it's one thing to say, yeah, I do it, Pop. But then when it comes down to doing what he's telling you to do, that's going to expedite your change, you cower away. You walk away saying, I can't do that. That's a bit too far, Pop. Why would you ask me to do that? And see, I'm running from Goldsboro to get out of Goldsboro, to get out of the situation I was in. But you telling me I got to go back and pay for what I where I messed up? Yep, you got to clean it up. And see, in that case, my going back was facing my parole officer. At least to the point where I called them. And see, this is what the Most High wants from us today. He wants us to know that it's him that's working in us. It's his power that's doing the impossible in your mind. Oh boy, that's one we didn't write down. What seems impossible with man is possible with the Most High. And before we go too far, we better put some scripts on this. Let's look at Numbers 23 and 19. The Most High is not a man that he should lie, neither the Son of Man that he should repent or change his mind. Did he say it and he won't do it? Or have he spoken and shall not make it good? And we had a word of the day called irrefragable. Irrefragable. And that means not able to be refuted or disproved. Indisputable. So the